Welcome back, everybody, and welcome to a special edition of the Days of Our Montecito Lives Awards edition. Yeah, I know. There's so many awards, aren't there? Everyone's getting awards today in ye old Sussex land. So today we are going through it. We've got Harry and Meghan sweep the nonsense awards. I've broken out Harry by himself. Then we've got Meghan's award. Then we've got the Sussex whitewashing of the media. See what I did there? It's not only judges who can whitewash Harry. Ooh. And then, of course, we've got, well, our Daily Doug. And to do this all with me properly, I have got the queen of all branding, of all PR, and of all marketing, Aliza Licht. Aliza, thank you so much. I appreciate you once again going through this nonsense with me.
I love you, and thank you for that wonderful intro. I'm so happy to be here. It is important nonsense.
It is, because, you know, a lot of people get very confused. So why don't you and I start off with Harry, okay? Because this is Harry's bizarre-ass timeline since 2018. He's turned into, well, a professional awards collector since he's moved here. 2018, he was Time 100 with Meghan, most influential. 3 years later, they were once again Time 100, most influential. In 2022, he won they both won, I'm so sorry, the NAACP Image Awards, President's Award, whatever the hell that means. Then in December 2022, Harry alone won the RFK Human Rights People Ripple of Hope Awards. I don't know why he was rippled of hope, but there we go. 2024, he was a Living Legends of Aviation inductee, which is so bizarre, Aliza, because really that goes to astronauts, not people who still need an instructor sitting next to them to legally fly, I don't know, a helicopter. However, we'll move on, because then he got, in that same year, ESPN's Pat Tillman Award, which was so roundly rebuked. Pat Tillman's mother came out against it and was like, what the hell? My son gave up his life for service. He gave up the big money to go into service and was killed. Harry kind of did the opposite. But that wasn't done. Late 2024, he was also nominated again by Time as a climate leader. And just last night, this guy, well, he accepted yet another award from Time Magazine, most influential people in sports. It does seem almost at this point, if Time keeps this up, I'm afraid he could even take out, I don't know, a restraining order against them, except for he doesn't seem like he wants to, because this is him last night at said awards, heading straight up. Oh, I'm doing it.
Thank you so much. Conference finals.
The balls. I mean,
Paula, when you see the graphic of all the awards together, you really can't unsee it. And that is the PR machine working overtime.
I mean, let's just pull that up again, just for giggles, shall we?
We shall.
Because 1, 2, 3, 6, 8 awards.
It's really telling.
In 7 years. What is going on, Aliza? I mean, what? You tell me, because I am confused. Time is humping the hairy leg so hard. 4 Time 100 awards in as many years. It's ridiculous. Why?
I mean, this is not true, but it's almost as if Time is on the payroll. That's what it looks like.
Well, to be fair, I did do a graphic earlier of Time is owned by Mark Benioff. Mark Benioff is a huge supporter of BetterUp, which throws Harry some cash every year. So
Okay. Okay, well that is quite the dot you connected.
yeah, the billionaires, they all hang out together. And well, Harry's not a billionaire, but they like to be seen in quasi-royal circles, don't they? This is ridiculous. What is going on? You tell me now.
It is the desperate need to remain relevant. Because as I always say, if these people do not have attention, they stop breathing. Attention is their oxygen. So this is the only way that he can sort of stay out there. And by the way, for the past couple years, the strategy between Harry and Meghan has really been focused on victimhood, right? How they were wronged, how everyone's abusing them, how they're bullied, how this. So now this is by the way, I know we're getting to Meghan in a minute regarding the Emmy nom, but this is a new way to say, look at us, we're still on top of the world. That is all this is. And that is the PR team's job to figure out ways to insert their clients into culture and still make people think, wow, look at these amazing people and look what they're contributing to society.
Yes. Well, and you know what's so fascinating too is you look at each award, and each award, every year, every time they were given an award, it came at a really bad PR time for them. So they were facing a diarrheal shitstorm, and they'd be like, but over here, look, I have an award. Isn't
Wait,
that great?
pull up the graphic again. Are any of the awards people's choice?
Oh, there will be one coming, because we will get into that with the Meghan. No, here is this old graphic. It is NAACP Image Awards, which of course the NAACP really kind of tarnished themselves when they gave Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds an award for once donating minuscule amounts of money to them years earlier after Blake and Ryan were caught bragging about their plantation wedding. So, you know, NAACP, there we go. Robert F. Kennedy Human Rights Ripple of Hope Award. I don't even know. The Living Legends of Aviation Award. That's just ridiculous. And of course, we talked about the ESPYs, and then back to Time. But you know what this reminds me of? And I think I've told you this before. I'll just tell you again. My Aunt Dee, God rest her soul, when she was alive, would always beg, now I know you're fancy, and so I found this really great wine at Kroger I think you might like. And I was like, okay, what is it? She goes, it's won awards. And I go, great. What's the wine? You know, because Aunt Dee did not like to spend money, which is how she died a millionaire, but no one knew. And Andy didn't like to spend money. She goes, well, it's under $5 and it has won awards. And I go, okay, great. What is it? Are we going to open it? And she untwists a bottle of Barefoot wine. And I go, is that Barefoot blush? And she goes, yes, it's won awards.
Stamp of approval. But my point in asking about people's choice is these are not people's choice, which means these are PR driven deals. And by the way, I think Time is complicit in this because Time was also involved in Blake Lively's recent attempt at rehabilitation also. So I think there's a partnership between Time and the talent, whether it be that Time's like, hey, you know what? That's actually great clicks for us. We're going to give that person an award. It is a two-way street. It is not just the talent of the PR teams. We've discussed this on your show before. It is a mechanism for the media to also get money and notoriety.
Yeah, it is. And also to get pickup. And everyone's now got the word Time magazine in their mouth. Not for a big exclusive or expose or interesting article. It's for a gala, which, by the way, that gala last night probably cost, I don't know, $100,000 to put on. And they got to pay for it somehow. And then they got Jalen Hurts in the room. They've got everybody in the room, and it makes them look really good, doesn't it?
It's all about brand. It's all about the Time brand.
It is. And it's just so bizarre that they would, once again, I mean, this is his 4th award from them. Now, I thought I had won the most time awards because 1974 was the year of women. That's me. I'm a lady.
You are.
Then they had that one year where it was you, and there was that bizarre mirror thing, and I was like, it is me. I won again. And then they had the year of the protester. I'm like, I protest everything. This water's not cold enough. I protest. And I was like, wow, I feel like they're stalking me. But apparently, no.
You're so funny. You're so
They're
funny.
stalking the Sussexes more, and specifically Prince Harry. Now, Meghan has her own deals going. This is her award history. Now, I am not going to go through her time awards because we don't need to say that again. Yeah, it's just, we're done with that. These are Meghan's awards for her professional activities. And I use that term very loosely. December 2022, People's Choice Awards for Pop Podcast, which was for Archetypes, the podcast that nobody listened to, and that the company for which was Spotify, the head of Spotify called her and Harry effing grifters. She also did it in seasons, even though you and I and everyone out there knows there are no seasons of podcasts. You just keep talking.
It's so true. It's so true.
And then in March of 2023, the Gracie Awards, whatever the hell that is, for yet another outstanding podcast host, because nothing says a great podcast host like somebody who talks like this, always kind of breathy. And back to me, Aliza. And of course, we've got July 2026, the Daytime Emmy nominee. Now, again, all of these guys and all of these awards came at really rough times for Meghan. She was nominated for the People's Choice Podcast Award after Bill Simmons called her an effing grifter. Then she was nominated for a Gracie Award after everything started going down the toilet fast. Now she's nominated for an Emmy, a daytime Emmy. And it's because, the show ain't there anymore. Nothing's working out. How did this happen?
Well, first of all, you have to remember for daytime Emmys, by the way, I'm so glad that you said daytime, because let me just say, back in my celebrity dressing days, we never wanted to dress anyone for the daytime Emmys.
Why is that?
Because it's just not prestigious. It's just not. When you think of the Emmys, you're thinking of the evening show, right? So It's like daytime Emmys is a different animal. But the point is, they had to submit 2 episodes. So this is not a stamp of approval on a show's performance. This is literally cherry picking 2 episodes that maybe were edited really well, that had the most zhuzh in terms of maybe views, but overall we know, and this is where the narrative engineering comes in and the spin, the show dropped over 60% of viewership in the 2nd season.
Oh, but by the way, let's put air quotes around season, because we know all 2 seasons and the ridiculous holiday show, which by the way got a 17% on Rotten Tomatoes, was all shot at once. All shot at once, and they just split it up.
Well, to your point, let's talk about another PR hook. So the reality is exactly what you said, right? Netflix bought 2 seasons of a show. They shot it all at once. So after the first season, when they had this big PR blitz, With Love for Meghan is renewed for a 2nd season. Do you remember the headlines? Renewed for a 2nd season. No, it wasn't.
By the way, I remember, because I had just come out with my exclusive saying Netflix was done with her. And literally the day later, we've been renewed. And I'm like,
So it's all so PR strategy, especially in crisis, is all about replacing the original headline with a new shiny headline. That is it. Okay. So renewed total spin because it was always coming out. And then the drop of the 60% and the ending of the show is where the public last left it. So now we've got an entire rewrite of the script because now forever she is Emmy nominated. And isn't that just convenient?
Yeah, you're not kidding. I mean, it is kind of hilarious. Now, I wanted to walk people through this real fast, so I had to print it out.
It's okay. You're allowed paper.
Thanks, honey. I didn't want to get nothing wrong. Yeah. Now, we do have to point out that there are different academies between the Emmys and the daytime Emmys. So the Emmys are for the really big budget shows like The Bear or Succession or whatnot. And regular Emmys are given by the Television Academy. Daytime Emmys are given by the National Academy of Television Arts and Sciences. Sounds kind of cool because it's got the word science in there, but it's really about which soap opera wins, right?
Correct. Which is why when I talk about celebrity dressing, you don't waste your dresses on daytime.
Mm-mm. No, you don't. Now, a television show does not get chosen by an outside committee. Instead, the show's producers, networks, and or streaming platforms must nominate themselves.
Correct. And pay for the submission.
And pay. So here we go. They choose their best work from the eligibility window. They submit it, and they do submit they pay a fee per entry to the Television Academy overseeing the specific awards. Then there is peer group voting. Get your friends and your family. And then there are some people at the actual outstanding lifestyle program Bling Blong. Now note that what I thought was really fascinating, it's outstanding lifestyle programming. It's not the cooking, the culinary instructional category, which has more prestigious shows, and this is much more, this is in with, I got to show you this because this made me laugh my tushy off. These are the shows that Meghan's up against. The Motherhood, a mommy talk show on Hallmark. The Wizard of Paws. It's a guy who works with dogs. A Different Breed, Stay, Sit, Win. It's about dogs who do stuff. And then George to the Rescue. George does houses. It's great. I think he's on LXTV or something. It's all these rando channels. Yes, I know the Hallmark, but I ain't watching Hallmark for no talk show. Okay? I'm watching it.
I will say.
Yeah.
The Wizard of Paws, because I looked it up. I really hope that show wins because do you know what this guy does? He goes around the world and he creates prosthetics for animals that need prosthetics. Like, I'm sorry, that's the best thing I've ever heard. Like, that is like actually important work.
I love you. I love you so much, Aliza. And I agree. That's a tearjerker.
Like, think about Doug. Like, if Doug needed a prosthetic.
Oh, honey, please. Doug would be a tripod. I mean, Doug already hops around on 3 legs half the time. His other leg's just up here in like a spasm. And that is normal. People out there, don't get mad. And it is a tearjerker. But I do have to say, I would prefer prosthetics for people first, then pets, kind of like for Invictus warriors. Like, it would be nice. Maybe that should be Harry's next show. Prosthetics for people who compete in Invictus games, and we actually changed their lives.
But to your point, the company you keep, girl, the company you keep.
That is true. That is very true. I mean, but still, I did want to go through just how, hold on, this show, Create Wonder in Every Moment, got nominated because literally half the time she's shoving flowers into vases, taking pretzels out of store-bought bags and put into her own plastic bags, shoving sachets into water and making her house smell like tea-like or whatnot. I mean, it was pedestrian. So,
well, it really makes you wonder, pun intended, doesn't it?
Oh boy, I see what you did there.
Mm-hmm.
I see. Listen, I am just eating my popcorn. This is amazing how the bottom of the barrel we have all scraped.
But you know what, Paula? I do think here's like really the flaw in the plan.
Mm-hmm.
The flaw in the plan is that you should never see the person behind the curtain. You should never see the puppeteering. You should never see the manipulation. And the problem with everything they do is that we're all in on it. And it's not that we are geniuses. It's that everything is sort of undeserved. So you are a genius. I'm a genius.
No, not me. Not me.
We connect the dots, but everything is sort of not quite right. Like it's not really deserved. So therefore, when we get spit with these headlines, it's like, wait, what? Isn't that the show that got canceled? Isn't that the show? Like it's like they're trying to consistently fool us.
Yes.
But at the end of the day, the public ultimately is the judge. And we know what's really happening here. And especially it's truly, you should feel bad for me for a minute. It is truly hard as a former publicist to understand the mechanisms and the who wore it best isn't who wore it best and all of the sort of like Santa Claus isn't real, to really live in this world and be able to see through every single thing. I would rather be tricked because it makes it so much better when you think these are real awards, like the wine really got an award, or like Alore's best foundations, right? It's like, we know how this goes.
I mean, the daytime Emmys are now the Barefoot Wine Awards. Like we should just send her like the Hang 10 signs. Remember that clothing brand Hang 10 with the feet?
Yes.
It's literally the Barefoot wine. I'd be like, Hang 10 award. Smells like feet. I mean, literally, Barefoot wine does tend to smell a little bit like feet. We'll move on. But it's frustrating. It's like saying, my mom nominated me, like it is so bizarre. But then they both have the balls. And again, with a Z, they both have the balls to be like, back to us. And Meghan again whips out the victim card, even though we're done with it. We're done. So yesterday, People magazine once again had a quote unquote exclusive, although I don't know what this exclusive is because all their friends are talking to anybody who will listen. And it's how Prince Harry reunited Archie and Lilibet with King Charles after a nightmare week. Exclusive. I mean, what the hell is the exclusive? I would love to know. What?
I'm just curious, like turbulent UK visit from a public. Okay, what was the? Remind me what was the nightmare exactly?
Oh, girl, it was the week from hell. First of all, there was the fracas over Buckingham Palace. Then he lost his big Daily Mail court case, and then was proven a liar. Then he came out with a lousy statement claiming the judge was whitewashing the Daily Mail's alleged crimes in his mind. And then it got even worse because then the judge still hasn't decided what the damages are. And he could very well have cost his good friend, Elton John, tens of millions more because Elton's on the hook for the damages. So
this is why I have you. So I can just zone out.
Yes, it was ridiculous. So let's get back to what their actual exclusive was. It was, for those close to Harry, the public wrangling was as frustrating as it was familiar. Victim. This is not the first time. It has not been plain sailing with correspondence or trying to make things work, says a well-placed source. read the publicist. It all comes back to security. If that was resolved, there would be so much more certainty every time he comes or they come. So let's unpack that first one because, again, Harry has always known his security situation. He has lost it every turn. The reason over the Buckingham Palace fracas was no security, although I don't know what security could get better than Buckingham Palace. And once again, he is emotionally blackmailing his father by saying, or ever, they could not come again because of security. Notice the kids. However, they got in and out of England just fine. All 4 of them. Harry was alone, traipsing around London and Birmingham, just fine. Meghan and the kids came around, no paparazzi, just fine.
And just curious, you mean to tell me the security at Buckingham Palace and around England is worse than the Time magazine gala?
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
Is that not taking a big risk?
I've been to those Time magazine galas. Yeah, they got some beefy guys. Yeah, like, there might be a police.
Yeah,
there's a police car or two. But, I think what Harry's saying is that those guys have guns. So just in case they could shoot someone dead. Whereas in England, he's saying, I want guns around me at all times. I mean, he basically has turned full American. It's quite sweet, actually. Now, once again, we're getting into the next part of the People magazine exclusive because there was Harry whining again. Now here's Meghan. For Meghan, who had expected to spend much of the week alongside Harry, the turmoil was especially painful. A source who knows the couple says she would have felt humiliated watching the public back and forth unfold. By the way, public back and forth that she and her husband created. Another source tells people Meghan is very supportive of Harry, adding, there's a lot of sadness over how the week unfolded and that she wasn't able to be by his side. But another insider adds, when it comes to Harry's dealing with his family, she always lets him lead. Now, meanwhile, they've said that before. They said that she lets him lead like a year ago, and it's more like, look, I'm a trad wife when it comes to England, which
she always lets him lead. She literally led him out of the royal family.
Thank you. Ta-dun, dun. Boop, boop.
I mean, come on.
It's ridiculous. And we all know the reason she didn't show up was because Harry had publicly proclaimed terrorists wanted to attack him at an event, by the way, for wounded warriors who had fought terrorists and may or may not have had PTSD over that statement. And she also didn't want to go because she saw it was a disaster. Now, if he had won the Daily Mail case, if he had stayed in Buckingham Palace and proclaimed from the steps of Buckingham Palace, you don't think she would have been there right beside him on the steps of Buckingham Palace with a very royal background?
Yes, correct.
And she wouldn't have had to have released those photos because the media would have done it for her. So I think it was all just a big disaster. And she was like, you're right. We'll just stick to Highgrove with the children. I mean, and I do think it's hilarious that, go on.
They're so exhausting. Imagine living your whole life around the desire to constantly be covered.
No, I mean, I'm constantly covered by Doug, and even then I feel suffocated.
You are covered in a minky blanket. Thank you very much.
It's true. I do love my minky blanket. It's turned into my blankie. I take it from the
security blanket. I know. I told you would love it.
To the bed. By the way, guys, if you don't know what we're talking about, Aliza sent me the most lovely blanket, a minky. And it is turned into my binky and Doug's. He also steals it. It's amazing. I caught him trawling it down the hall the other day. I was like, let loose, son, let loose. But, you're not wrong. It's just very fresh. They put themselves out there. It bombs. for whatever reason, despite the fact that at this point, everyone's like, you're just not that likable. We don't like you. Can you just go home and be parents or do whatever it is you claim you want to do, but don't do? And then when it goes wrong, they announce an Emmy nomination. They announce an exclusive through People magazine that is not exclusive because their people have already tried to brief everyone else about this, including the phrase, she lets him lead. That's been said verbatim before.
Well-placed source.
Yes, well-placed.
I mean, it's just that, it's like they have this, it's like they have these little buttons, these little levers that they pull to counteract whatever like I said, replace the bad headline with a new headline. That's the strategy.
I mean, at what point do they realize, A, it doesn't work anymore, and BT dubs, we see you?
I think, honestly, they care more about never leaving the headlines. I almost think, I've never really believed that all press is good press, as they say, right? Because you can obviously be destroyed by a headline. But I do believe if the public stopped talking about them, they would shrivel up and die.
Oof. Yeah.
And that's really every celebrity, by the way. Like, most celebrities really do need to stay constantly in the headlines.
I agree. I just think it's so crappy because, Harry's supposed to go back in September, and that quote in People magazine, if at all, or if they ever will again. It's like, dude, we get it. You held up your kids in front of your dad, said, you can see them in September. And you're like, oh, God.
I wonder what those kids are really like.
I don't know, man. God bless. I do. I guess we all wonder, it's just, poof. All right. Any last words, Aliza? Any last final bits of advice that don't include go away and hide?
Well, I guess I would say, think really carefully about what you're doing, because eventually your kids are going to be able to speak.
Honestly, that's why I love giving you the last word. Thank you, friend.
Thank you.
You are a gem. Now wait backstage, and everybody, Aliza, tell everybody where they can find you, because you are fabulous.
Thank you. You are fabulous. I am currently releasing my fashion novel on Substack exclusively. It's called Off the Record: Secrets of a 90s Fashion Insider in New York, based on true stories. I am not the main character. However, I have a lot of stories. It's very juicy. It's serialized fiction every Wednesday. And I also write Backstage Pass, which is sharp cultural commentary. Today I have a piece on Phoebe Gates' scandal and why it's closer to Meghan Markle's jam problems than you think.
Oh, yeah. It's all about, you got a problem when the person becomes the brand.
Correct.
I hear you, buddy. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I'll see you in a hot second. All right, everyone. Now, since it's awards season, apparently, at least for the summer, when it gets very slow, I'm going to nominate and crown myself Queen Lobster. Thank you so much. Yes. And don't forget, I've got a Daily Doug for you. Now, listen, this is a bit of an embarrassing story. I don't want you to judge Doug or me, but whenever I have visitors over, Doug likes to get out his pillow, and it's from an old dog bed. He hated the dog bed. He took out the pillow, and every time someone comes over, he whips the pillow out. We'll be sitting on the sofa, whips the pillow out right in front of us, and does this every single time. Yep. That's my boy. He's a humper. Listen, it's embarrassing. It gets weird at this point, though. After 6 years, I'm like, he's a humper. Next, just ignore him, And at least he just humps a pillow, and only when company's around. All right, you guys, thanks again. Like, subscribe, hit the hype. And know that I really, really appreciate you. I do. I think you guys are awesome and I love this community. All right. Mwah. I'll see you in a bit. Take care.